You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Feel like who art ed?
We'll try to slice it.
Who art ed? Mr. Wood art ed me.
Good. Either way, it's ambiguous. It works on so many levels.
I know.
That's off to a great start.
Welcome to Who Arted, weekly art history for all ages. I'm your host, Kyle Wood, and today we're looking at the Alexander Mosaic, which was unearthed in the House of Faun in Pompeii. But before we get to the mosaic, I want to cover a little bit about Pompeii. Pompeii, before its tragic demise in 79 CE, was a bustling Roman city located in the Campania region in Italy, southeast of Naples. It was a vibrant hub of activity showcasing a unique blend of Roman and Hellenistic cultures. Pompeii thrived due to the rich soil to support agriculture, and its location on the Bay of Naples made it a good port for trade. Pompeii's society was diverse. It was a mix of wealthy elites, merchants, artisans, and enslaved people. The city boasted an array of public buildings, including a forum, amphitheater, temples, and baths, all reflecting the importance of social and civic life in Roman culture. And daily life in Pompeii revolved around these public spaces where citizens gathered for political discussions, religious ceremonies, entertainment, and socializing. Now, interestingly, Pompeii was home to temples dedicated to a variety of Roman but also foreign gods, reflecting the city's diverse religious landscape. There are even some archaeological finds that may be early Christian symbols, such as crosses, and there's a structure known as the Hospitium Christianorum, which some believe was a house church, although I should note that scholars much smarter than I am disagree about interpretations of those symbols. I should emphasize there's some evidence that Christianity may have been present in Pompeii before 79 CE, but it's still a little bit uncertain. But Pompeii was filled with art and architecture that we are a little bit more certain of. The city's homes were adorned with intricate frescoes and mosaics depicting mythological scenes, landscapes, and everyday life. Now, I've talked previously about frescoes, but for those unfamiliar with the term, fresco means fresh, and this art form gets its name because frescoes would be created by painting on fresh, wet plaster, so the pigment would soak into the walls. This made frescoes extremely durable, and they can hold up for centuries, pretty much indefinitely, as long as nothing happens to damage the wall. Mosaics are another extremely durable form of art. A mosaic would be created by laying down a bit of mortar, then carefully arranging glass, stone, or ceramic pieces called tesserae to make the design. The tesserae would be pressed into the mortar, and any gaps between the pieces would be filled with grout, which helped smooth the surface and hold all the pieces in place. Now, if you're hearing tesserae and wondering if that relates to tessellations, the words are related. A tessellation is a pattern of repeated shapes covering a surface with no gap or overlaps, and tesserae would be the individual pieces used to create a tessellated pattern. These artworks not only provided aesthetic pleasure, but also offered valuable insights into the social, cultural, and religious practices of the time. Public buildings, such as the amphitheater and temples, showcased impressive architectural styles and sculptures reflecting the grandeur and sophistication of Roman civilization. While it was a Roman city, Pompeii had strong ties to other cultures, particularly Greece. The city's architecture, art, and religious practices bore significant Greek influences. The presence of Greek inscriptions and artifacts further attests to the city's cultural exchange with the Hellenistic world. Pompeii also maintained trade relations with other regions in the Roman Empire, importing goods like wine, olive oil, and pottery, and exporting products like textiles and fish sauce. Now, you may be wondering, how do we know so much about Pompeii? The eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 tragically buried Pompeii under layers of ash and pumice, effectively preserving the city and its inhabitants in sort of like a natural time capsule. The event was obviously catastrophic and devastating, but it inadvertently provided a unique opportunity for archaeologists to uncover the city's past. Excavations that began in the 18th century have revealed remarkable details about life in Pompeii. The ash and pumice acted as a preservative, protecting the buildings, artifacts, and even the remains of the victims. Through careful excavation and analysis, archaeologists have been able to reconstruct the city's layout, identifying different social classes and gaining insights into daily routines, religious practices, and cultural traditions. The discovery of well-preserved houses, shops, and public buildings, along with countless artifacts like tools, jewelry, and written documents, has provided a wealth of information about the city's social, economic, and political structures. Among these well-preserved and studied houses from the ruins of Pompeii is the House of Faun. It's one of the most renowned and impressive aristocratic houses from the Roman Republic era. It's constructed in the 2nd century BCE. This house, the house doesn't even feel like the right word. It's more like a palace. It spans an entire city block and covers an area of approximately 32,000 square feet. The House of Faun is the largest and most expensive residence discovered in Pompeii. Its sheer size, but also just like the luxurious design, reflect the wealth and status of the owner, believed to be a member of the influential Darius family. You may be wondering why it's called the House of Faun, if it likely belonged to someone from the Darius family. The house got its name from a bronze statue of a dancing faun, or satyr, found in the impluvium, which was a pool for collecting rainwater that was in the main atrium. Yeah, it had more than one atrium, just as it had more than one garden. But this statue was absolutely stunning, caught people's attention. It's now housed in the Naples National Archaeological Museum, but that was sort of what people identified the house with, and that's where the name comes from. But that's not the only great artwork in the House of Faun. It had a huge collection of well-preserved art, including intricate mosaics and vibrant frescoes. The most famous mosaic, the Alexander Mosaic, depicts the Battle of Issus between Alexander the Great and Darius III of Persia. This masterpiece, crafted with tiny tesserae, is considered one of the best examples of ancient Roman mosaic art. Now, after a short break, we're going to take a look at the Alexander Mosaic. Welcome back. Now, the Alexander Mosaic, also known as the Battle of Issus Mosaic, is a masterpiece of ancient Roman artistry that continues to captivate viewers with its detailed depiction of a pivotal moment in history. It was unearthed in the House of Faun in Pompeii, and this intricate mosaic not only shows us the amazing artistry of ancient Roman mosaicists, but it also gives us a glimpse into the military prowess, political ambition, and the cultural exchange in the ancient world. The mosaic captures the dramatic clash between Alexander the Great of Macedonia and Darius III of Persia in the Battle of Issus in 333 BCE. The scene is filled with action showcasing the chaos and intensity of the battlefield. Alexander is depicted on horseback. He's charging towards Darius, who recoils in fear on his chariot. The mosaic portrays the emotional turmoil of the moment, with soldiers engaged in fierce combat, fallen horses, and a palpable sense of impending doom for the Persian army. It was crafted using the opus vermiculatum technique. Now, opus vermiculatum is Latin for worm-like work. It's a highly refined and intricate mosaic technique used in the Hellenistic and Roman periods. It's characterized by the use of very small tesserae, tiny pieces of stone, glass, or other materials. And when I say tiny, often these were no larger than like 4 millimeters. to create detailed and nuanced images with subtle color gradations and flowing lines. Unlike the more common opus tessellatum technique, which uses larger, more regularly shaped tesserae, opus vermiculatum employs smaller, irregular shaped tesserae. These tesserae are carefully selected and meticulously placed to follow the contours of the design, creating a smooth, almost painterly effect. Opus vermiculatum was a time-consuming and labor-intensive technique, requiring great skill and patience. It was often used for central figural panels called emblemata, which were then surrounded by coarser mosaics using the opus tessellatum technique. Now, the Alexander Mosaic is a testament to the skill and artistry of these mosaicists. The meticulous arrangement of these minuscule tesserae, predominantly in earth tones with subtle hints of color, creates just this remarkably detailed and realistic image. The mosaic is huge. It stands 8 feet 11 inches tall and 16 feet 10 inches wide, although it was initially laid flat to cover the entire floor of a room between two gardens in the House of Faun. It's estimated to contain approximately 1.5 million tesserae, each carefully placed to bring the scene to life. Now, beyond this artistic merit, the Alexander Mosaic holds immense historical significance. It provides valuable insight into the cultural exchange between the Hellenistic world and the Roman Republic. The depiction of the famous Greek victory reflects the Roman admiration for Greek culture and history, highlighting the influence of Greek artistic traditions in the Roman world. The mosaic is believed to be a copy of an earlier Hellenistic painting, possibly by the renowned Greek artist Philoxenos of Eretria. After being buried under volcanic ash for centuries following the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, the Alexander Mosaic was rediscovered in 1831 during the excavation of the House of Faun. Recognizing its fragility, experts carefully removed the mosaic from its original location to ensure its preservation. Today, the mosaic is on display at the Naples National Archaeological Museum, where it continues to draw visitors from around the world. The Alexander Mosaic stands as a testament to the enduring power of art to capture and convey the drama and complexity of human history. Its meticulous craftsmanship, vivid depiction of the pivotal battle, and reflection of cross-cultural influences make it a truly remarkable piece of ancient history. The mosaic serves as a window into the past, inviting viewers to contemplate the triumphs, tragedies, and cultural exchanges that have shaped our world. And in a great bit of irony, the eruption of Mount Vesuvius that destroyed Pompeii also immortalized it, providing us with an unparalleled glimpse into the life of an ancient Roman city and its people.
This concludes this week's episode of Who Arted, part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. If you found this tolerable, please leave a rating or review on your favorite podcast app. You can find images of the work being discussed this week and every week on social media at Who Arted Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and of course on the website whoartedpodcast.com. Podcast done.